I'm trying to move on with my day, but old fart Bob Arum, you know, this guy just continue to put his foot in his fucking mouth. He says, matter of fact, this the Boxing Clinic. It's your boy CJ Goodfella. Shout out to the LDBC. One time for the one time. Shout out to them boys on the YTBC as well. We swag surfing today for sure. Taking it back to what, 09. But Bob Arum says this. He said, we got to credit the UFC for teaching us, basically, paraphrasing here, that taking a loss is not the end. The fuck is he talking about? We knew that. You know, only these new wave of casual fans think a loss in boxing is your career is over with. It's DEFCON 4. It's DEFCON 10. You know, real boxing fans, you don't have to be a hardcore boxing fan to know that. A loss doesn't mean it's over. Unless it's like some Mildred Taylor, Chavez Sr. type of shit. Where it's just a brutal ass whooping and you're just not sure he's going to be able to come back. Or if he's one of those guys like Matisse, you know, who got a Billy Badass image and think they can't be broken and get broke. And then, you know, their confidence is broken. They're not the same fighter. You know, other than that, a loss, you know, fuck a loss, you know. Muhammad Ali took losses. Joe Frazier took losses. George Foreman took losses. Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson took losses. Sugar Shane Mosley, Oscar De La Hoya took losses and kept going. It ain't no shit that we already know. This dude is a fucking hypocrite for real. He on some fucking nut shit for real. You know, first he's bashing the UFC. Now he's seeing that, you know, Floyd Mayweather, Al Heyman, you know, is working with Dana White and they got a good relationship. Now he wanna join in on the gang. You know, he wanna be UFC boxing gang now. You know, I can see him setting up a fucking Lomachenko or Crawford versus UFC guy right now. Guarantee that's what he's thinking. This old bald-headed fucking fart. You know, I wish they would vote his ass out of Top Rank, get him the fuck out of boxing. I'm sick of him. You know, now he's pumping up the UFC. He'd rather, you know, turn to his mortal enemy in the UFC than give credit where credit is due to the rest of the boxing world. And you wonder why he said this. He says his comment. You know, I'm going to leave the article, link in the description. He says this because of Miguel Moraga versus Lomachenko. You know, he said the UFC have showed us if you lose courageously and you give a valiant effort, you know, you can come back and be brought back in another fight. You know, you can't fucking, you know, make this logical thinking right now. You want us to believe a guy fighting a young champion, Oscar Valdez, Miguel Moraga, even though he fought tough and gave him a tough fight, still lost. No matter if it's a point or fucking by a point or by 10 points, he lost. So you want us to accept him moving up another 4 pounds challenging apparently a pound for pound type fighter when Oscar Valdez is not even a pound for pound fighter and he couldn't hack it versus him. So you telling us that he fought so valiantly and fans want to see Miguel Moraga again so bad to see, and we're going to accept, and we want to see him versus Vasily Lomachenko in this acceptable fight. Bullshit. Nobody wants to see this fight. Nobody gives a fuck. It's on ESPN. If you ain't got nothing to do on Saturday, you're going to pay attention. If you got something to do in the summertime on Saturday, you're not even going to blink twice unless you're at the bar and it's on the bar and you're just paying attention. Nobody's stopping their day to watch this bullshit. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, Vasily Lomachenko's bullshit. This team around him is bullshit. And the sooner he get away from Top Rank, the sooner it'll be better. So, you know, so that's his logic thinking. You know, thanks to UFC, we could bring Miguel Moraga back versus, you know, move him up 4 pounds, coming off a loss and put him in there with one of the best fighters in the world. Bullshit. He ain't jiving this turkey right here. You know, Bob Arum is so much full of shit now. You know, trying to sell milk to a cow. That's what he's trying to do, but it ain't gonna work with this one over here. We gone.